Another round of fireworks in Washington. With only 2 more days until a possible government shutdown, the House voted to pass another short-term funding plan.
That's right, and the president taunted the Democrats to get on board with his immigration plan or pay the price of another shutdown. KCAL9's political reporter Bryan joins us now with more on the battles over immigration, the budget, shutdown, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right? It's a long list. We could be here all night, really,
sure.
Right? If we got into it. President Trump threw down the gauntlet to the Democrats. Get with the immigration program I'm offering or take the blame for shutting down the government. All this with only those 2 days remaining until the current temporary budget deal runs out and the government would begin shutting down again. And then there was tonight's vote in the House.
The yeas are 245, the nays are 182.
Even as the House of Representatives passed another stopgap budget bill Tuesday evening, which would keep the government open until March 23rd, if the Senate concurs, President Trump was consumed with immigration security.
If we don't get rid of these loopholes where killers are allowed to come into our country and continue to kill gang members, and we're just talking about MS-13, there are many gang members that we don't even mention.
Framing the immigration security issue as being all about stopping murderous gangs flocking across the border from Mexico, the president delivered an ultimatum Tuesday, seeming to call for a government shutdown if congressional Democrats don't back his immigration proposals.
If we don't change it, let's have a shutdown. We'll do a shutdown, and it's worth it for our country. I'd love to see a shutdown if we don't get this stuff taken care of.
At the meeting with the president, with cameras rolling, it was a Republican from Northern Virginia, where many federal employees live, who openly challenged the president's comments on loving to see a shutdown.
We don't need a government shutdown on this. We really do. I think both sides have learned that a government shutdown was bad. It wasn't good for them.
And we are not getting support from the Democrats. I mean, you can say what you want. We're not getting support from the Democrats on this legislation.
Democrats like Pasadena Congresswoman Judy Chu had a field day with the president's outburst. She told supporters on the Capitol steps President Trump has other motives for his in-your-face approach to immigration.
That he's not trying to fix our immigration system. Instead, he's trying to make America white again. That's the same reason he uses slurs like chain migration to describe our legal family-based immigration system and to turn people against immigrants.
Things got so heated that the White House jumped in to reframe the president's shutdown comments.
The president isn't looking for this, but if the Democrat Party is going to continue to threaten a shutdown because they won't include responsible immigration reforms, including fixing MS-13 loopholes and other issues, then the president welcomes that fight.
Ironically, President Trump's apparent off-the-cuff remark comes as some members of Congress say they are actually making progress in their budget talks.
I'm very optimistic that we're going to close a deal this week.
Congress has until midnight Thursday night to pass a budget. That deadline includes a promise from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to bring an immigration debate to the floor. But he also said on Tuesday he was shocked that the Democrats didn't jump all over the president's immigration deal.
Well, I think the president was very generous given his history with this particular issue to come out for a path to citizenship for 1.8 million dreamers. I'm honestly shocked that the other side didn't say, sign me up.
And as if the president's comments didn't shake things up enough, White House Chief of Staff John Kelly threw his own verbal hand grenade into the immigration debate, charging that some would say those dreamers who did not sign up for the DACA program were too lazy to bother.
The difference between 690 and 1.8 million were the people that some would say were too afraid to sign up, others would say were too lazy to get off their ass, but they didn't sign up.
Now, there may be some good news tonight. The New York Times reporting that Senate leaders are working on the final pieces of a sweeping 2-year budget deal that includes a hefty increase in defense spending for Republicans, as well as increases in funding domestic programs for Democrats. This may be serious because both Mitch McConnell, the Republican leader you saw in that report, and Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader in the Senate, agree that an agreement appears to be coming very soon. Jeff, how about that? They are actually agreeing on something.
At least for now.
Yeah.
May not hold, right,
no,
Dave?
that's for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.